Quads, what's the deal with Vancouver and Mark Messier?
So,
yeah, what's the story there? Because he wasn't.
Yeah,
we
do
were
you guys not
joking
know
on
this?
real life.
We were talking about this on real life, so the chat's bringing it up. So now I'm asking.
Yeah. So I'll try to do it justice. So quickly to preface, the Canucks just named Quinn Hughes their captain.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Every promotional graphic showed every single captain except for Mark Messier. Mark Messier was the only captain not shown in arena before that game. I'm not sure if it was on the broadcast. They show all the captains. Mark Messier is the only captain not included in any promotional graphic. You will not find Mark Messier's face anywhere in that building. The reason for it is because he came in, and I don't know if you guys have seen this. He had I hope I'm not doing defamation here, but there's like a napkin that had his contract demands written on it. And one of them was that he would get to wear number 11, which was soft retired because Wayne Mackey had passed away. And he said, nope, I want it. So he took number 11. So that was off to a rocky start. He comes in, he takes the captaincy away from Trevor Linden, who everybody in the city loved at that
All-time
point.
Canuck.
All-time Canuck, and Mark wanted to see. Like, that was also another thing in his contract demand. And all of this happened because the Canucks didn't get Wayne Gretzky. And I don't know how much you guys know the story here, but the Canucks were very, very, very close to landing Wayne Gretzky. Then there was the whole thing with Mike Keenan. So Mike Keenan and Mark Messier are both equally hated in Vancouver because, look, they had high expectations. They come in. I don't know how much of it was they thought they were getting Gretzky and ended up getting Mark Messier, but he came in, didn't play exceptionally well, and they were some really bad years in Vancouver. And then basically what happened was that team looked like it was up and coming, and then it got destroyed by Mark Messier, and then Mark Messier left, and then they started being good again. So everybody just kind of looks at those years like, okay, you drove Trevor Linden out of town. You did all these things where Mike Keenan takes over and all. It was a gong show. You think it's a gong show now. It was a gong show back then. That was some of the worst. That was like some of the worst era of Canucks hockey was when Mark Messier was there. So look, whether rightly or wrongly, I'm not here to tell you.
Wrongly.
Yeah, sure.
In our opinion.
Yeah, like, okay.
Allegedly.
And Canucks fans are going to hate me for this. This is a guy who is a Hall of Famer, okay? He came to your city. Mark Messier, as far as I know, has never said a bad thing about Vancouver. And look, I know all the Canucks fans are going to be on me for this right now.
That's okay. I don't think any of them are
I'm
watching.
just saying, it's a Hall of Famer that was in your city. And look, I know all the Canucks fans are going to say, you weren't even around. Like, I wasn't born when Mark Messier was here. So look, I get it. But to some extent, I'm also like, okay, this is a Hall of Famer. But I do love the erasure of Mark Messier. I will.
The pettiness is respectable.
I do love it. Like, I love that it's top down. If there's one thing that the Canucks organization is aligned on, and I'm not sure there's one, but if there is one, it's Mark Messier he's not a part of the organization anymore.
Wasn't the Gretzky trade under Brian Burke? Is that when it was?
No,
was
I
a
don't
different
think
one?
Burke was the GM at that time. So there's a podcast by Scott Rintoul. I don't know if you guys know who
Yeah,
Scott
I know
Rintoul
Scott.
is. He did an exceptional job. He recapped the West Coast Express era, and it's like an eight-part series. And he spent a lot of time talking about the build-up to that. So he goes quite in-depth on the Mark Messier era. So Oilers fans, I know people are curious. If you want to hear it from someone who was actually there and really has a really good handle on it, like Scott was covering the team when this was all happening. Go listen to that podcast. The first 2 episodes, it details Gretzky's on the podcast. Like, Gretzky comes on and explains it from his perspective. And it's a really good listen. It's a really, really good listen. But I do not think it was Burke at the time.